What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be reviewing set 77012, the fighter plane chase, which is part of this new Indiana Jones re-release. Up on the top of the box, you can see the Lego and Indiana Jones logos, as long as the new Indiana Jones minifigure with a map behind him. And then this cool little whip pattern, which goes across and separates the box art from the logos. And you can see this like ancient skull type Mesolithic stuff greebling on the box. You can see the three minifigures down here being Indiana Jones, Professor Henry Jones, and then a fighter pilot, as long as being able to see the two vehicles on the box art. On the top of the box, you can see the three minifigures as long as the actual size of Professor Henry Jones. And then flipping onto the backside, you can see the car and the plane in a tunnel, as long as the ability to take a chest out of the car, the two minifigures being Indiana Jones and his dad in the car, and then the plane trying to follow the minifigures in the car into the tunnel. And then the last little picture is the ability to take the wings off of the plane for the ability to recreate in the show or the movie whenever the plane tries to follow them into the tunnel and its wings come off. Starting off with the minifigures, we get an updated Indiana Jones with this really nice new hat piece. The hat piece is dual molded, and it is the hat, and then you can see the hair which comes down. That is all one piece, and it is all connected. The hair stays on, and it goes on really nicely, and I think it looks amazing. And it allows for a second face print on the minifigure, but you can see the first face print there, and flipping onto the back, you can see the second one right now. He has a brown overcoat on with a tie and a tan shirt underneath, and then on the back you can see a bit more of that printing. It's just some carryover printing with some overall type stuff. And then on his pants, he has this belt, which has his gun holster and just other stuff that he needs. And then he has this famous whip. And that is about all with the new Indiana Jones minifigure. It looks really nice. I'm so glad that Lego made it a updated version, and it just looks amazing. The second minifigure in the set is Professor Henry Jones. This is Indiana Jones' dad. He doesn't have any leg printing, but he has some nice torso printing, being that big ol' overcoat. And then he has a little bow tie and stuff underneath, just exactly what you see in the movie. And he is holding a little notebook in his hand, and it has a little bit of printing on it, which is kind of nice. He has one face print, as on the back of his head, it is still showing. If you take the hat off, you can see the hat doesn't cover the back of his head very nicely, so he is not able to get a second face print, but he doesn't necessarily need one. The minifigure does look really good, and I believe this is the same hat that Lego used for the original minifigure. They just reused it for the set, and I think the minifigure looks pretty decent. The third and final minifigure in the set is the German pilot, which flies the plane. He has some pretty basic tan torso printing and no leg printing. The torso printing is just kind of like a jacket that the pilot wears, and on the back just has some continuous printing. It's just some folds in the jacket. He has some brown gloves for his hands, and then a just standard head print, and then a helmet which does have the goggles that fold down. Taking a look at the first build in the set is the car that Indiana Jones and his dad, Professor Henry Jones, escape on in the movie. It is the little white car from the 1940s or whatever, and it does look pretty nice. It resembles a build of a car from that era really nicely. It has this little windshield up here, which doesn't have a piece in the middle. It's just this bar piece, so you are able to stick a finger through it or stick a piece through it or whatever. And then on the side, you can see this little stickered piece for the door. The door does not open and is stuck in there by this little plate here, so it's not going to come off if you try and open the door unless you forcefully do it. On the back, you can see this nice little sloping stuff, which gives the back of the build a bit more of a feel. There is what I believe is supposed to be a spare tire on the back, and this pulls out, revealing nothing inside. But if it was more of a play feature, it would probably have a trunk inside, and you can see the backup lights on the back. The wheels are covered by this nice little piece. It's a pretty big piece that takes up the entire side, and it gives the wheel a nice arch over it on both wheels on either side, and it does look pretty nice. And then on the front, you can see the headlights and the little bumper up here. You are able to fit Indiana Jones and Professor Henry Jones in the car very nicely, and they fit in pretty snug. It is a bit hard to get Indiana Jones in with his whip, though, so I just didn't put him in like that. But you can see they do fit nicely inside of the car. And then on the back is a chest, which can be pulled out. It is a bit in there, though, so you kind of have to get your fingers up under it. And then inside is a handgun and an umbrella. And then there is also a briefcase, which sits right back behind the seats. If you open it up, there is nothing inside, and it just fits in here nicely with these little pieces that go around it, and it just kind of sits in there. The next build in the set is a little like desert outpost sign, which does say Berlin and has a little arrow pointing, and then a sign which signals that there is a tunnel up ahead. It is a really basic build, but it is what is seen in the movie. There is also a little plant that grows up beside it, and this is just a bit of foreshadowing of what actually happens in the movie whenever the plane flies into the tunnel chasing Indiana Jones. Moving on to the plane, it does a really good job of representing the plane that we see in the movie, and it is very accurate to planes of World War II, and I think it looks really nice. Up at the front, though, you can see the propeller, which does have the ability to spin. You can also turn the little propeller blades, so that way you can angle them a bit more or a bit less, depending on how you like. Then you can see the engine back in here, which is this little grill piece. Moving on to the sides, you can see these little pieces, which are stickers, and then the little like exhaust ports, I think is what those are. But it does look really nice, and I think it looks pretty cool. But onto the wings, there is another sticker. There is also a play feature, which has the ability to shoot at a stud. That is now gone. I was hoping I could catch that. But it is this new like stud shooter type piece, which does get put on and just like tiled over, so that way it does not come off. Moving on to the cockpit is made of this big ol' like piece, which is curved and has a sticker on it. It also has the windshield piece on the front, and then connects on by these studs right here, and is able to be pulled off really easily, and is just like, it fits in really nice, so it's not going to be difficult for a younger like child or whatever to try and put that on. Inside the cockpit, you can see some studs to put your minifigure down, some gauges up at the front, and then a little lever, which is supposed to be like the joystick or whatever, like that the pilot flies with. You can easily fit the pilot down inside, and then put the cockpit piece back over them. Moving on to the back, there is another sticker piece right here with that sand green color, and then some curves to get it to go back into this little back side of the plane. You have the back little wings, and then the tail fin, and then a wheel down here at the bottom, and wheels up here at the front, so that way the plane can roll, and it rolls pretty easily and nicely. The plane allows you to recreate the scene in the movie where the plane tries to follow Indiana Jones into the tunnel, and the tunnel rips the wings off of the plane. You can easily just grab the sides and pull it off. And then on the sides, there are these fire pieces to represent the plane scraping against the sides of the tunnel. But the plane's wings are just connected by these little ball joints on the sides, and then they snap into place on either side and have pretty much no movement once they're on. But all you have to do is gently push down on it or push back, and they come off pretty easily, allowing you to play with that play feature. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great rest of your day.